Hi, everyone. I'd like to do a shout out to our sponsor, Baco Diagnostics. Early detection is the single most important factor in improving patient outcomes. The Baco Diagnostics team recognizes how impactful a podiatric physician can be and remains committed to supporting you in your role as the first line of defense in diagnosing conditions of the lower extremity. Thanks to the unwavering support of their clients, Baco Diagnostics has been able to give back to the podiatric community for 16 years by providing podiatric educational resources and advocating for the position. Baco Diagnostics, helping podiatric physicians keep America on its feet. If you have not yet had the opportunity to utilize Baco Diagnostics services, get started today by sending an email to corporaterations@bacodiagnostics.com. The first 50 podiatry offices who request a starter kit will receive a Dean's Chat mug. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Dean's Chat, where we discuss all things podiatric medicine. My name is Dr. Jeffrey Jensen. I'm the Dean at the Arizona College of Podiatric Medicine and the host for the Dean's Chat podcast. Once again, I am joined by my co-host, Dr. Joanna Ritchie. Hello, Joe.
Hey, Jeff. How you doing?
I am doing great. I am super excited about interviewing students from the University of Texas, Rio Grande Valley School of Podiatric Medicine.
Oh, me too. I have been waiting. We love our student episodes, and I'm so excited to chat with you guys today.
Very good. Well, let me do a little bit of an introduction of our guests. Representing the class of 2026, James Hughes. Welcome to Dean's Chat, James.
Thank you for having me.
You are so welcome. Representing the class of 2027, Nader Ramzi. Welcome to Dean's Chat, Nader.
Thank you for having me.
You're so welcome. And representing the class of 2028, Jessica Sima. Welcome to Dean's Chat, Jessica.
Hey, thank you for having me.
You are so welcome. It's wonderful to have you. It's great having the University of Texas, Rio Grande Valley as part of the podiatry family. And we're really excited that we've got each of you representing one of the first three classes from UTRGV. So thank you for joining us.
Yeah, Jeff, I'm always really excited, and I have a special personal care for being the first group of students to kind of graduate from a program, having gone through that when the Arizona school came out a long time ago. I can relate so much to that experience. So I'm so excited that you guys were willing to come on and talk a little bit about your experiences with your school. We'll start though. We like these episodes to stand alone so that if a prospective student happens to search for podiatry school and they find this episode, could you define for us what is podiatric medicine? And James, I think you were going to take that one for us.
Yeah, so podiatric medicine is basically the focus of diagnosis, treatment, and prevention of foot, ankle, and lower leg pathologies that could be either treated surgically or conservatively.
Excellent. Thank you.
Thank you, James. And Nader, would you mind talking about the pathway to becoming a podiatric physician?
Absolutely. So after high school, you go to 4 years of college. Undergrad, you get your bachelor's degree. Um, Most of the time, you go the science route. So most people get a bachelor's of science in biology. I actually got a bachelor of science in kinesiology. And then you go ahead and you take the MCAT. Afterwards, you do 4 years of podiatry school, followed by 3 years of residency. And if you choose to continue on, you could get 1 or 2 fellowships under your belt as well.
Fantastic. Thank you.
All right, so we'd love to get a little more information about each of you. So what we'll do is, Jessica, we'll start with you. If you can tell us a little bit about where you went to your undergrad. If you want to talk about your degree, again, students love to hear, oh, that's what I'm interested in, and what got you interested in podiatry, how you discovered podiatric medicine. And then if there was any shadowing opportunities, what that looked like. And you're welcome to shout out anybody that you want to, but no pressure if you don't want to name names. But
Yes, so I went to UC Berkeley for my undergrad and I studied microbiology there. And I was really interested in medicine in the first place, and but I didn't know which specialty to go into until I had like an ingrown toenail on my right foot. I had to go to a podiatrist, and that's where my shout out go to. Dr. Yuko Miyazaki in California. She was my podiatrist. She treated my ingrown perfectly. And during the procedure, I just asked her, hey, can I shadow you by any chance? And so she was like, oh, yeah, of course. I ended up shadowing her and working at her clinic for the summer of my senior year, I think. And that's when I was interested in podiatrist, and I realized this is a great profession. And it's just like any other specialties. You do whatever you are interested in, and you are helping patients to alleviate their pain, to improve their life quality. And it has all the things that I was looking into in medicine. So I just went for it, and I think it's a great decision for me.
This is outstanding. Actually, I have to say, I actually stayed with her when I was a student and like lived with her, right? Like this is such an amazing small world, and she's amazing and wonderful. So there you go. Just a fun shout out. All right. So we'll move on. I'm just going to go in order of how you guys show up on my screen. So James, can you tell us a little bit about your undergrad, how you discovered podiatric medicine, and then any of your shadowing experiences?
Yeah, so I'm actually going to go way back. I like to joke that I was born into podiatry because my dad was a foot and ankle surgeon, and his clinic was actually right across the street from the hospital that I was born at. So before my parents took me home, they actually had to stop by because my mom was the office manager to check on the clinic. So I've always been around podiatry, and I've always really, really loved it. I went to college at Cal State Long Beach. I got my degree in biology and my minor in chemistry. And I kind of kept on gearing toward medicine. I took some EMT courses when I was in high school, and not very many people passed those courses. So that was kind of the encouragement that I could go into medicine for me. I took a little bit of time after I graduated in 2018, and I just was working as a medical assistant for my dad. I applied to some schools. I got waitlisted, didn't get in. So I took a little bit more time, took some more classes, and then sadly my dad had passed away in 2021. And so I took a little bit of break. I got to see the Lakewood program that my dad worked for, the residency program. They all came in and they helped keep our clinic afloat while we transitioned the ownership to another podiatrist in the area. And that was when I really realized that this was a field that I needed to be a part of, because I don't know very many people that would step up and devote that time to help others. So I applied to Texas because I had everything ready for my next application cycle. And their application cycle opened before everybody else, and I was ready to go. And I was like, let's go UTRGV.
Oh man, what a beautiful story of carrying on a legacy too. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. All right, so Nader, we're going to transition your undergrad experience, how you discovered podiatric medicine and shadowing.
So I discovered podiatry when I was in high school. I was a soccer player and I suffered a couple ingrowns. We had a family friend who was actually a podiatrist, so I went over to his office, got taken care of. Undergrad, I went to the University of North Texas, where I majored in kinesiology because I was very interested in biomechanics. So I got my bachelor's there. While I was there, I was actually pursuing a pre-physical therapy degree. And then someone told me, hey, you should go shadow a surgery. It'll look good on your resume. And then I went to the OR. I was very nervous, and I walked out and I was like, I don't want to do physical therapy anymore. Nothing against them, but I really enjoyed what I saw. Podiatry was definitely something that guaranteed that you could go into orthopedics. So shout out to Dr. Mancarius up in Fort Worth for letting me do that. I shadowed him for about 2 years. And then I applied to UTRGV, and here I am today, 1.5 years later.
Fantastic. It's funny how life puts us on these different trajectories and really is just leading you in the direction of where you're going to go. So that was excellent. Thank you all for sharing that.
Yeah, those are just fabulous stories. Nothing like being treated and being in pain, and then you're no longer in pain, and then all of a sudden you're shadowing, and next thing you know, you're applying. James, my hat's off to you, following in your father's footsteps. There's so many legacy students in our profession, which is really just a testimony to what a wonderful lifestyle and livelihood and experience that you experienced growing up with your father being a podiatrist. Those are just awesome stories. So on this next little segment, I talked to your dean, Javier Lafontaine, and he gave me all of your names. He said, These are the three you want to interview. They're leaders in our school. And what I wanted to do is just talk about leadership, perhaps. And Jessica, you are a liaison to APMA representing UTRGV. How'd you get involved with that? And what's your experience been like till now?
Yeah, so earlier on in the last semester, which is last year, we had a voting. We were trying to look for a student representative representing TPMA and APMA. So the students of all the school years kind of apply, and then we all voted for the people we thought they might be suitable for this position. And I was selected as the representative for the APMA student chapter at our school. So ever since then, I've been communicating with the APMA, especially Dr. Jane Anderson from Chapel, from UNC regarding holding events in the school and communicating the student needs and to promote APMA in our school. And actually, this Friday we'll be hosting a Suture Lab event at 5 p.m. in auditorium. I'm super excited for the students to be involved and to interact with all the professors and to learn about suture.
That's great. Dr. Anderson is fabulous. She's been doing tremendous student recruitment efforts in North Carolina for many, many years. What a wonderful mentor for you also. Joe, APMA has been delivering on all fronts in our profession for a long time, and it's wonderful to see them supporting the students like they do.
Absolutely. And those hands-on workshops can be so valuable for learning those skills and taking the things that you learn in the classroom and getting the chance to apply them. Just makes it fun and really sticks and helps kind of motivate you perhaps to get through the maybe rough stuff that's not as enjoyable, the biochemistry or whatnot, to be like, this is why I signed up to do this, and motivate you on. And that's a nice little segue into our next section where we're going to talk about curriculum. So students or prospective students that are looking at different opportunities in terms of podiatric schools are always curious what some of the unique or different curricula are about different schools. If you could talk a little bit about the first year, Jessica, and then Nader, if you can talk about the second year experience, and then James will have you talk about the third and a little bit about what to expect going into your fourth year, knowing you haven't done it yet, but what that process kind of looks like. So Jessica, we'll start with you in the first year.
Yeah, so first year is everything is didactic. We'll basically be taking lectures. We had lectures on intro to medicine and biochemistry, biomechanics, lower extremity anatomy, and we also had classes on clinical skills. And those were more like the introductionary based classes, for example, biology and chemistry. It kind of gives you a quick review of what people learn in undergrad students. And also the biomechanics and the lower extremity anatomy were more gearing towards the podiatry, really goes into the muscles and the movement of the foot and everything. So it really gives students a great introduction and a kind of like to help them adapt to the medical school curriculum. And I think the best part about the curriculum, at least from my experience, I really like how faculties are really attentive and caring about the student's opinion, because I know that the second year and the third year, when they had their lower extremity anatomy in first year, they only had a maybe less than a month or 2 months to study them. But for us, the faculty have made some changes based on students' opinions, and they made the lower extremity anatomy the 4 month class for us. So it was a great foundation for us to build in because anatomy is what we're going to use throughout our career. So I really appreciate that part. And I really like how our class is small and we only have maybe 22 students, but we have so many faculty. So it's a lot easier for us to communicate with our faculty and to reach out to them.
That's excellent. And you're absolutely right. Being a newer school, having some flexibility and listening to the students in terms of, hey, this is what we're finding works really well. And these are the areas that we think maybe could be improved a little bit. And the fact that they listen and are making positive improvements, I think that's wonderful. Nader, what has been your experience in the second year?
Well, second year is really fun because this is when you're really getting into podiatry. So you're covering diabetes, which is a big issue for our field, but especially here in the Rio Grande Valley. So we spend about an entire semester covering that. We added two new courses that I don't think James took, or they were very shortened for his class. We got Podopeds and Sports Medicine. And then right now we're being taught rear foot by Dr. Hamilton, which is a really nice course. And then to Jessica's point, you continue with your OSCE, your clinical skills, but it's more geared towards um, clinicals and what you do in the OR. So it's really, you get a lot more hands-on, you get a lot more exposure to what you're actually going to be doing for the rest of your career. It's very, very fun.
Excellent. All right, James, you were the dry run class. So tell us a little bit about third year now. We won't go back to first and second year, but what your third year has been like, and then what you expect your fourth year to start to kind of look like.
Yeah, so third year's the best year. I'm sorry, Nate, Nader. This is third year, you're in the clinic. It's great. So they split us actually into our class in half by two separate rotations, medical rotations and podiatry rotations. So we take half of us will take 5 to 6 podiatry rotations, and the other five of us will take cardiology, internal medicine, emergency medicine, ICU, general surgery, and then we get an elective, which can be orthopedics, pediatrics, neurology. I think that's all of them. And that experience has been really, really wonderful because this is where you're practicing your suturing, you're learning how to inject. And I've learned so much, and I'm very, very grateful for the experience. We also have to take shelf exams after every rotation. So that's something that I think is a little bit different, but the way that we have our shelves prepared for us, it's supposed to help us with step two. So I'm hoping that everything's going to turn out wonderful for step two.
And so that is that an online exam type?
So we actually do have I forgot to mention we do grand rounds bi-weekly, so twice a month. We show up the second Wednesday of the month and the fourth Wednesday of the month. And on our fourth Wednesday, we actually take our shelves in person. Yeah.
And then the clinic, they have a clinic there on campus?
So there's a clinic on campus. We're also right next door to the VA. So some of us have rotations at the VA. And then we also go down to Valley Baptist Brownsville, which is 30 minutes away from us. We go to Valley Baptist Harlingen, which is across the street from us. And then there are some clinics that we go to up in McAllen, which is about 45 minutes away from us. So we have a broad, wide spectrum of where we're going in the Valley.
Excellent. And then what will fourth year look like?
So fourth year is going to be kind of determining if everything worked out perfectly. You get 6 clerkships starting in June, and then we come back in December. And when we come back for December, we actually do a little prep for step two, and we also do prep interviews so that we're prepared for all of that when it's January. And after that, we do some more rotations around the school. It sounds like we have some away rotations that can be taking place in Texas, not just in the Rio Grande Valley, but maybe possibly San Antonio or the Houston area. So
Wonderful.
it's another thing to look forward to.
Yeah, that's excellent. Thank you.
Finally, we graduated in May.
Yay!
That's great. Yeah, it's interesting the way the boards play out, and then residency interviews. It's like when you're studying for one, you're studying for the other, and it works out great for the students. So that's just a great overview of your curriculum. Thank you so much. Now we're going to do one of our favorite sections of interviewing students, and that's the professor shoutouts. And I'd like to give each of you an opportunity to shout out one or two professors that have really made an impact on your educational experience. And Jessica, your first year, let's let you go first.
All right. Well, I have a lot, but I'll pick the top three. So first, I want to shout out to Dr. Venegas. He was my professor for biomechanics, He's really funny and he's really, really passionate about his own work and research. And so he makes the classes really engaging and fun to study. And also, I was shadowing him during the winter break at his clinic, and he did let me practice some matrixectomy to remove the ingrown toenails on some patients. And he was really reassuring me that, hey, Jessica, just do it. I know every single mistake you're gonna make, and I know how to correct them. So don't be afraid, don't be scared, just do it. And it really calmed me down and made me so confident, and I was able to practice. I did not harm the patient, so that's really awesome. And my second shout out will go to Dr. Sonura. He is my anatomy professor. He is a new professor. I think he started working with us since last year only. And I would say he's a walking complete anatomy or a walking Nether's anatomy. He knows everything about anatomy and his teaching is awesome. He has a logic, he has a flow. It's so easy to follow him and he makes anatomy so much easier to understand. And my third shout out would go to a wife and husband, Dr. Baghetti and Dr. Andrade. They are from Brazil, and Dr. Baghetti, she is a dentist, but she's also really involved in research and stuff. So she's super knowledgeable, well-rounded, and she really cares for the students a lot. And her husband, Dr. Andrade, I think he used to work in the ER and he also was a plastic surgeon. So he has tons of experience in terms of medicine and treating patients and all that. So whenever I'm talking to them, I just feel like I can learn so much from them and they're so involved and so passionate about teaching and they try to make the classes so much more fun. And I really appreciate for having all those faculties.
That's fabulous. Thank you. Nader, professor shoutouts at UTRGV.
I'm going to follow Jessica's example, but three is not enough, so I'll give you three. Dr. LaFontaine, which you already interviewed, and I'm sure you know very well, is not only a great leader, he's very humble. He goes out of his way to ensure that everything is going well for the students with as busy a schedule as he has. Dr. Hamilton, he will call on you in class. He will call you out. He'll make you do push-ups if you mess up. But he's preparing us for residency, and that's something that we really appreciate. And my last one, you actually just interviewed Dr. Hyam, who was one of your former students. He just started, I think, a couple of months ago. But the way he's tackled the curriculum and he doesn't just communicate the information. He's very good at teaching it, breaking it down. He'll go out of his way to make mnemonics and diagrams, and those three, when they teach you, you don't want to miss class. You really want to take in everything they have to say. So shout out to the three of them. They're very, very wonderful.
Fantastic. Joe, when you worked under Dr. Hamilton, when you were a resident, did he make you do push-ups?
I think he threatened it a few times, but I was pretty sharp. No, I never had to do push-ups, but that makes me laugh. I'm not surprised that he's given the students a little more hassle.
You know, on both ends of the spectrum there, Nader, I knew Dr. LaFontaine when I was a resident. He was a student. He was rotating at our hospital. And then circle, Dr. Hyam was a student of ours 5 years ago. And you're fortunate to have both of them, all three. All right. Well, fantastic. James, let's talk about some professor shout-outs. I know there's a few left.
Yeah, there's honestly we should mention them all, but I think the one that I need to really give a shout out for is Dr. Amanda Clean. She came in last year, and the way that she teaches is so simple, and she's been wonderful for me because she's been helping me do a lot of research because I get a lot of crazy ideas that I don't understand this, I don't understand this. And she's like, you're asking some good questions. You want to do some research on it? I'm like, yeah. And she's been breaking everything down simple for me and for me to answer those questions and present them to everybody and try to have a wonderful time doing research. So she's been great. I gotta give a shout out to Dr. Greeby. He teaches pharmacology. He is just wonderful and does his best. He's always excited to teach. And he actually was full-time at School of Medicine here at UTRGV. And then he started teaching a couple classes here, and like he's like, I love these guys. I think I'm gonna try to be full-time here. So I love that we have him here. I'm also gonna say Dr. Heim has really stepped up this year. It's been wonderful. I do a lot of volunteering. I used to be the volunteer officer for our student government, and these last couple of months we've done a lot of marathons, and Dr. Heim has helped out with volunteering for some of the marathons. And just this weekend we drove up to Austin, and he helped organize the Special Olympics the first ever one that we've done for the school. And that was the best opportunity ever. And I'm very grateful for him to do that.
Oh, I just love those shout outs. Dr. Colleen was a student of mine in Miami many years ago. I'm having this like trip down memory lane with all these great shout outs. So thank you so much. What I'd also like to do is shout out our sponsor, Baco Diagnostics. We all know that early detection is the most important determination in improving patient outcomes. Baco Diagnostics remains committed to supporting you in your role as the first line of defense in diagnosing lower extremity pathologies. Baco Diagnostics, helping podiatric physicians keep America on its feet. Big shout out to Baco. Joe's sporting the vest tonight.
Keeps me snuggly when it's a little cold here.
No, that's great. But, they do so much for not only practicing doctors in practice, but they also do a lot for the students with workshops. And a shout out to Baco. They just supported our profession at all levels. So fantastic. Joe, you're up.
All right. So the question that I know many students will have when they're looking at different schools and trying to make the difficult choice of where do I want to be for 4 years of my education? So what is it about UTRGV that made you say that's the spot? And we'll start with Jessica and we'll work our way through. Go ahead, Jessica.
Yeah, my favorite part of the school is definitely the curriculum and how the faculty are so attentive to students. They really listen to us because I'm the curriculum representative for the first year, and I was able to attend meetings where all the faculties and the representatives from different years are able to sit down together and talk about the curriculum and hear about the students' opinion and also listen to what the professors think is the best for students. And they make adjustments based on what we discuss. And just like I mentioned about the lower extremity anatomy, the faculties have made so many changes on other curriculum too. They've been always on the progress of making the curriculum better for the students. And I really like that part about the school.
Beautiful. Nader, sorry, how about you? What was the thing that was the seal the deal for you on why UTRGV?
My dream was to go to med school at a UT school. So when I found out that UT was opening a podiatry school, everything just fell into place perfectly. But on top of that, when I was applying, Dr. Mancaries found out that Dr. LaFontaine, Dr. Shibuya, and Dr. Hamilton were part of the program. And he was amazed. He said, how do you have those three minds under one roof? Which really encouraged me to make the move and come down here.
Definitely three powerhouses. All right, James, and how about you?
Well, the school was still kind of new, and as I said, the application cycle had been extended, so I just applied. I wasn't sure if I was going to be accepted or not. Basically, they started doing my interviews last minute because they extended the deadline. And I got on a plane, and on Houston, my delay in Houston, that's when I got the call that I was accepted because they told me I had to show up to orientation in order to be considered. And I was like, oh, this is great. And I wasn't sure if I should have taken it at that point. And then I had already done a little bit of research. I noticed that I was kind of nearby the beach, and I was like, well, I'm from Long Beach, California. I've grown up surfing and sailing my entire life. It's kind of the same environment. The cost of living here was so much better. And I also had a passion that I wanted to work on my Spanish. And being so close to the border and the culture was a big opportunity for me to say, hey, you're going to try and do your best to learn as much as you can, including another language other than medicine.
That's a good point.
Excellent.
Medicine
That's a beautiful segue.
language all to its own. Absolutely. Yes, that is a wonderful segue. So I'm going to ask each of you two questions. We'll lump them together. What do you do to get away from studying to recharge your battery? And then the second one is, what have you done as a class that has been fun to kind of build camaraderie amongst the class? Let's go backwards this time. James, let's start with you.
So I love going to the beach, especially with my friends. There's not big surf around here, but there's some little ones. And my favorite spot in the Rio Grande Valley is Boca Chica Beach. It's the only place where you're going to get a shot of a rocket and the beach, because SpaceX is right there. And the Rio Grande Valley, you can drive on the beach all the way down to the mouth of the Rio Grande Valley. It's just such a unique landmark that I don't think you get at a whole lot of places. So it's my favorite place to go, and I just enjoy going to hang out with my friends, trying new food everywhere we go.
Fantastic. And how about what do you do as a class to kind of get together and build camaraderie?
Most of it is so we do go out and have food together. There's one spot in particular, Moon Rock, where we all go, and it's kind of like an outdoor music hall, and they have some food trucks, so everybody's able to try whatever they want. No one's like, "Oh, I didn't want to go here because I want Chinese instead of pizza or something." So everybody can get everything that they want, and we just laugh and have a good time. And there's some outdoor games that we can do at times there.
Fantastic. Nader, what do you do to recharge the battery between exams and to kind of keep a positive mindset?
Well, I love sports, so we actually ended up forming a soccer team, and we named it Foot Doctors FC.
Oh, I like
Uh,
that.
yeah, and we actually end up playing in the IM leagues with the other schools around us. We have two other campuses, so we sometimes play in both leagues. It's just a good way to, just relax, forget about school for a little bit. In terms of what we do as a class, James made a good point. He actually introduced us to Moon Rock, so we'll go out there a lot. And South Padre is only a 45-minute drive, so if we don't have an exam that Monday, sometimes we'll just spend half a day out on the beach and just enjoy our time together.
That's fantastic. Jessica, what do you do to relax and recharge your battery?
Yeah, just like they mentioned, I always like to go out to eat, to explore food places. The South Padre is always a go-to. And actually, Dr. Gribby, one of our professors, he gave me a cat. And so my cat has been spending a lot of time with me when I'm studying, when I'm relaxing. She's great. And also, I just like to maybe spend some time alone, just to work on myself, to write a journal, and to just listen to music. Just I don't want to do anything, just relax, to just have some time for myself. Yes.
That's great. Anything memorable with your class? What do you do for fun with them?
We always like to do something every time after our big exam. Last week I think we went to McAllen for a buffet, and then I think we also are planning on to go to the beach next weekend after our exam. And also our class is doing a lot of stuff with other years too. I think the second year, especially Victoria and Nader, they organize a lot of events for us. So me and my friends, we always attend their events just to talk to more people in our school and our class. I think we also have two weddings coming up this summer, so I'm really looking forward to that.
Oh, something's in the water there.
Indeed. Are they classmates that are getting married?
No,
Oh,
No.
I
Okay.
wish, but no.
I thought you
Because
meant
that happens too.
it does for sure. Joe, whenever we do these interviews with the students from the different colleges, I'm always excited about the future of our profession. Jessica and James and Nader, thank you so much for joining us. Joe, final thoughts.
No, I completely agree. Thank you so much. And it's so exciting to hear a fabulous new school. The fact that your faculty are responsive, working with you guys collaboratively, because to your point, Jessica, it's not just that the students can get everything they want, because sometimes there's a really good reason or purpose or intent behind why faculty are recommending the way that they're doing things, but having a team and collaborative approach to really continue to make it a top-notch program. I'm just really excited. So we appreciate all of your time so much to help spread the word and give all these prospective students insight into what it's like to be a student at UTRGV.
Absolutely. And we'll be sending each of you a Dean's Chat cup.
Yes.
Because, school's long and arduous, and so is residency. So you're going to need your caffeine dose for sure. So to all of our listeners out there, if you're listening on Apple or Spotify, please give us a 5-star rating or even leave a comment. And if you're watching on YouTube, we'd love for you to become a subscriber. Until next week, Joe and I will continue to bring you wonderful guests, future leaders in our profession like Jessica, James, and Nader. Thanks again. Cheers, everybody. Bye-bye.
Cheers.
Thank you.